What's good? What's good? It's the one and only, but what do I know? Boxing coming back at y'all with another one, man. So we got Shakur Stevenson. First of all, I want to thank you guys for being patient with me. I know I've been gone for a little minute. I just got back in town, all settled in. Actually, I got back in town late last night. It was probably like around 1 or 2 in the morning, or about 12 in the morning. When I got in or whatever. So I want to thank y'all for being patient or whatever. But I want to talk about Shakur Stevenson because he's still receiving criticism that I don't think is fair. As you guys can see, this is Ryan Garcia's verified Instagram account, or I'm sorry, Twitter account. It says Shakur didn't do any running tonight, but he also didn't fight a guy with power tonight. So I want to see him fight someone with some power and see what he does. Other than that, congratulations, or congrats, good work. All right. Now, this is not the only person that I'm speaking on, but I do want to say, man, I just think I just think that's ridiculous to say that dude didn't, it's like, what? This is why you can't focus on what the fans say or what the critics say, not the fans, but the critics say, because no matter what you do, when somebody has, or when they're biased against you, no matter what you do, they're going to always find something to criticize, bro. If you stay in the pocket too long, they're going to say, oh, he got hit too long. But if you control the distance like Shakur normally does, then they're going to say, oh, he's a runner, he's a born fighter. This is why I always say, man, it's just best to stay true to yourself, bro, and win how you feel. I personally feel like Shakur put on a great display of boxing. The man showed his IQ. The man made the right adjustments. You have Floyd Schofield Sr., who I'm not opposed to Senior, but you had him saying you didn't make no adjustments because you didn't get the knockout. Fam, you don't have to get a knockout to make adjustments. Floyd Mayweather made great adjustments without getting knockouts. Go look at his fight with Shane Mosley when he got rocked. You see he took that right hand away from Shane Mosley, and Shane Mosley was never able to land that right hand again. He didn't get a knockout, but he made the adjustments to not get hit. Adjustments doesn't mean knockouts. Adjustments means you basically do what you have to do in order to win the fight. When somebody's doing something well, you have to make the proper adjustments. When your opponent is doing well, you have to make the proper adjustments to prevent them from doing what they have to do. Or if your offense, maybe your jab is not landing, you have to, because you're just an example, because you're from a distance that's too far. So now you have to make the adjustments to cut that distance in half in order for you to land that jab. That doesn't mean that you have to get a knockout. Now, granted, there are adjustments that you can make to put yourself in favor of a knockout. But again, adjustments are adjustments, not knockouts. So, I don't like the criticism that I'm seeing with Shakur or about Shakur. I just don't think that it's fair. I don't think that's right. I think the man went out there and displayed great boxing. Another person that I had an issue with, I like to go to all the people that like to criticize Shakur and see what they have to say. Boxing ego. I didn't like what he had to say about Shakur, and this is no diss to Boxing Ego. This is just my opinion. One of the things that I did not like that Boxing Ego said was that basically, he feels like he was wrong for basically doing what he had to do, right? Basically like staying more so in the pocket where he was getting hit more or whatever for the fans, which in some cases I can understand. If it's a situation like what Tim Bradley did with Ruslan Provodnikov, then 100% I can understand. Like, fam, you fighting a stupid fight. Like, that's not what you are. That's not what you do. But Tim Bradley, though it was a really good fighter, Tim Bradley didn't fight with the IQ that Shakur does. Shakur, to me, has a better defense than Tim Bradley, and also fights with a better IQ than what Tim Bradley did. Y'all might not like it, but it's the truth. So, that's not what the case was. But then Boxing Ego, while criticizing Shakur and saying that Shakur was fighting like, he was, basically he wasn't fighting like him, he wasn't being himself or whatnot. He then went on to praise Mayweather for his fight with Cotto, right? Now, what's to the casuals, y'all won't know the irony in that, right? You're praising Mayweather for his fight with Cotto, but you're criticizing Shakur for his fight with William Zepeda. Well, where do the lines connect with that? Just listen and I'm going to show you.
He kept on. I think it was the earlier rounds where, the fans were going really wild because Floyd got hit with a jab or two. Floyd come back to the corner and I said, a dog get a bone every now and then. You know, I wasn't Floyd Mayweather that was backpedaling, which I could have just outboxed him and moved and made it a boring fight. But you guys, it's a recession. You guys spend your hard-earned dollars to come see me. So I said, fuck it, let me give you guys what you want to see.
That was at the post-fight conference from the Miguel Cotto fight, right? Now, where am I going with that? Well, Boxing Egos, you know, once again stated that Shakur was basically, he didn't like the fact that Shakur was not being himself to please the fans or whatever because of what he was being criticized of, which I don't think that Shakur is a runner. I think the dude is an excellent boxer. But then, again, you turn around and praise Mayweather, but Mayweather just said it himself in that post-fight conference. That like, bro, I could have stayed in box, but I wanted to please the fans. But you praised Mayweather for that. So that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why, like the criticism for Shakur, it's like when you're, one thing about it, like it's one thing to, I like guys that are fair. Or if you're gonna be biased for a certain fighter, at least say it. You know what I'm saying? I understand why he's doing that to Shakur because he called out Tank Davis and, you know, whatever. Dude has this weird fetish for Tank Davis and his braids and stuff. But like, bro, like if you're gonna be biased with, at least say that you're a biased Tank fan. I love Tank more than I love Shakur, but I'm not biased. If you're gonna be biased, I would respect you by saying you're just gonna be biased. But don't be biased and then try to cover it up like you're not being biased when clearly you are. Anything that Shakur does, you're gonna criticize. If Shakur would have moved around in the fight with Williams Zepeda, you would have said, oh, he's a boring fighter. Nobody wants to see him. He stays in there, and he didn't fight a dumb fight. He fought very well. He did very well in the fight. Defense was on point. But he wanted to give the fans what they wanted to see, and you criticize him. As a matter of fact, that's not even the only time Floyd has done that. Man, I could run something else, but hold on.
Hard work. A true champion, a true competitor, a hell of a fighter. And like I said, I wasn't going to do a lot of moving this fight. I was going to give the fans what they wanted to see. You know, I got a couple bumps and bruises, but that comes with the territory. When you're at this level, you have to be able to make adjustments. And I was able to make those adjustments. I think everybody's just used to seeing me just outbox guys and beat guys and guys not win one round. So today was more of a competitive fight. Then they're like, oh, we never seen Floyd in a competitive fight, which is a catch-22. If I'm in a competitive fight, then they're like, damn, well, what's going on with Floyd? But then if I just beat a guy and not let him win any rounds, then they like, that was a boring fight. So I think tonight, we gave everybody excitement. That's what they wanted to see. Everybody tuned in and bought pay-per-view.
Man, it ain't too many people that could go against what I say, bro, because I've been around the sport so long. I remember, especially when it comes to my favorite fighters, I remember a lot. I'm not gonna say everything, but I remember a lot. So that's why I say, bro, it's a catch-22. You still want to criticize him for being able to box and stay in the pocket and know that's not how he normally fights. He's giving the fans what they want to see or whatever. And maybe he feel like he got touched up some, but you're criticizing. If you can't criticize dude for doing the same thing, you praise another fighter for doing. Not gonna work, bro. I think Shakur fought a very good fight. I'm not mad at it. I'm actually very happy with his performance and whatnot. He showed that he got dog. Because the reason why I'm happy with his performance is because I've always wanted to see what Shakur was like when somebody can cut that distance in half. And Williams Zepeda was able to get on the inside with Shakur, and we were able to see Shakur adapt and adjust. So I've always said Shakur is a great fighter, but I don't know how great he is until Saturday. I got to see how great Shakur is, and Shakur is a dog. He's a great fighter. He got hit. Some people are saying that he was wobbled, but I promise you, and I'm not saying this. I even stated this in my post fight reaction. I just think he was off balance. I think it was an off balance shot because as soon as he got hit and he was on the ropes, you saw him walk towards Zepeda and start throwing punches. You know, I don't think it was hurt like how people were saying. I just think it was an off balance shot or whatever. And then people still saying he ain't been in there with somebody that got power, but Zepeda has, out of 33 fights, he has 27 knockouts. I think he has some type of pop in his punch. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? What he had more knockouts than Shakur had fights, I believe. So You know, and that's not saying much, but I'm saying though, the dude is good at finishing his opponents, obviously, most of them at least. So you got to give Shakur his credit. Stop hating and give this man his credit, bro. Shakur did his thing. I want to see Shakur versus Tank, two of my favorite fighters at 135. Let's make it happen. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Who do you see winning that fight? But what do I know?